From the campus of Westerville Central High School, we welcome you to OHS BVA Regional Final Volleyball action live on OHSBVABroadcast.com. My name is Jason Griefer. Greg Waddell will be along in just a moment. It is an East Regional Final here as the Hilliard Bradley Jaguars, 17-2 on the year, the number 2 seed in the region, take on the Dublin Jerome Celtics, coming in as a surprise as the 7 seed at 13-9 overall. The Celtics, so in the regional final for the 4th straight year, looking to finally break through and make it to next week's state tournament. The winner of this game advances to next Saturday's state quarterfinal to take on either Jackson or Stowe Monroe Falls. So we'll be looking forward to that next week. We'll be having that coverage of the state tournament next week on OHSBVABroadcast.com. But nevertheless, Greg finally getting the chance now for regional final action. Both teams getting through some opening rounds, but also a bit of a surprise here to see a 7 seed in Jerome getting to this regional final.
Well, I think what you're going to find out is as we go through the 3 matches we'll have here over the course of tonight, that's going to be an ongoing story. It seems like in the East region, in the Dayton or the Columbus area, you've got a lot of teams beating up on each other. And you mentioned the Celtics coming in as a 7 seed. The fact that they made it here, they had to get past 4 seed Olentangy Orange, but did so relatively easy in 3 straight sets. So a 13-8 record, maybe a little bit of a misnomer coming in here. So these teams did not meet in the regular season. So this should be a very interesting matchup. Just because you have 2 seed versus 7 seed doesn't mean we don't have what could be a barn burner.
And of course, Jerome knows what it's like to be here in this spot. As we said, this is their 4th straight regional final. Have not been able to break through to the state level. That's a big thing here tonight, going against a Bradley team as coming in 17-2 on the year. They were the 2 seed in this side of the region, and most recently took out New Albany in the regional semifinals. Bradley finished the regular season ranked 6th in the state in Division I. And we're getting a look at some of the players warming up here as Bradley's starting to take the floor. Now Bradley will be in the gray uniforms here today, Jerome all black. One player to keep an eye on for Bradley is number 0, and that is Jonah Gilbert, the East Region Player of the Year. He's signed with Grand Canyon University. Watching him in warm-ups, I think he could probably pick a quarter off the ceiling if he wanted. The bottom line is he can get up and he can drop the hammer when he connects.
And obviously that's what the Celtics are going to have to be focusing on, watching where he is at as he comes in as an outside hitter. You're going to move him to the left, you're going to move him to the right. Obviously, the more you move him around, the more dangerous that he can become. And then you throw in a first team for Dublin Jerome coming in here, Tyler Nuttig. That'll be a guy, also an outside hitter, but giving up a little bit of size when it comes to those 2 types of players. But it also goes to show you size isn't everything when it comes to being an outside hitter. It's that jumping ability and just how well you can put the ball down.
As Greg said, this is the first of 3 regional finals we'll have here tonight for you. This is the first of 2 Division I finals. We will also have a Division II final. The other Division I final will be Olentangy Liberty taking on Thomas Worthington. That'll take place a little bit later on tonight. And the Division II will be Olentangy versus St. Charles Prep. Well, coming on a little bit later on.
And to throw that Division II match that we will have, let people know ahead of time if you're expecting that to start at 8 o'clock. We've been told that match will not start until 9 o'clock. St. Charles going through commencement graduation ceremonies tonight.
That's kind of important.
Just a little bit, yeah, just a little bit. And considering what all these young men have been through in the last year, the fact that we are here at this point of the season, I think is an absolute testament to not only the volleyball players and the schools, but to all the athletes that are playing in their respective tournaments and their respective sports at this time of year.
Well, and how about the parents and the fans that are able to be here in attendance here tonight? That's not something we didn't think we would be able to have at some point, let alone having a season. We're able to have some fans here tonight. Of course, everybody trying to get to the tournament next week at Pickerington Central High School. And there you saw right in the middle, Jonah Gilbert just trying to send a ball through the ceiling. If he tees one up, we'll be keeping an eye on that as things go along. It'll be a 2-day state tournament next weekend at Pickerington Central High School, and we will have all the coverage right here on OHSBVABroadcasts.com. Also stay tuned to OhioBoysVolleyball.com for any updates in between now and then. But we're just about set for regional final action here as Jerome looks to pull off the upset and move on beyond the regional final for the first time in this 4-year stretch as they're set to take on Bradley here in just a few moments live on OHSBVABroadcast.com.
Though both teams are competitors, they are expected to exhibit the qualities of good sportsmanship throughout the contest, and the administration of both schools requests the same from all its fans. The officials assigned to this match have met extensive requirements set by the Ohio High School Boys Volleyball Association and have been approved by both schools to provide their important role in tonight's match. The officials are line judge Brian Washburn, line judge Gerald Price, official Lori Francione's gone, and official Bob Duber. The athletes, coaches, and officials are guests at Westboro Central High School, and fans are asked to respect the efforts that each team has put forward preparing for tonight's contest. We ask all attending to show courtesy and respect for fellow fans, officials, coaches, and those administrating the contest, and of course your team and opponents. And it is important today than ever to respect the game. And now let's meet the lineups and the players for tonight's match. First, for the visiting team, the number 7 seeded Jerome Celtics, coached by Phil Cagnoli and assisted by Michael Geisey and Saket Neketi. Number 1, junior Babia Gutman. Number 2, senior Tyler Nutty. Number 4, sophomore Cam Eckelberry. Number 7, junior Lewis Park. Number 8, junior Will Hemmerich. Number 9, senior Roshi Muscoli. Number 11, senior Max Utrip. Number 12, junior Druvion Tibolia Holly. Number 14, sophomore Connor Kemp. Number 15, senior Ben Kripe. Number 16, senior Nelson Garcia. Number 18, sophomore Henry Guarniera. Number 19, sophomore Aiden Eberhardt. Number 20, sophomore Kai Von Borganisdian. Number 21, junior Alex Leffler. And now for the home team, the number 2 seeded Hilliard Bradley Jaguars, coached by Zach Franklin and assisted by Tyler Seawright. Number 0, senior Jonah Gilbert. Number 1, senior Yazid Abasandis. Number 3, senior Jared Parlay. Number 4, senior Tak Tam. Number 5, senior Elijah Stolika. Number 7, freshman Will Schreier. Number 8, senior Camden Bartles. Number 10, senior Jin Tam. Number 11, senior Leighton Gibson. Number 12, junior JJ Boyne. Number 17, junior Chase Ledicaritas. Number 23, senior Ardo Levy. Number 31, senior Jonah Cobb. Number 88, senior Tanner Dill. And number 99, senior Hayden Bryant.
Got to tell you, Greg, even with the limited number of fans in here, it feels like a full house here for a regional final.
I think it has to do with the fact that because we missed last year, everybody's bringing that extra energy, and they know because they're smaller in numbers, they got to be larger in energy.
Dublin Jerome will be under Central, and Hilliard Darby will be under the guest. Again, Central, underneath Central, it will be Dublin Jerome.
How'd you like some of those names there, Jason?
There's some interesting ones, but
yes.
we do thank the administrators from all of our schools here that we're covering.
Absolutely.
Give us a pronunciation guide so we make sure we give these kids their proper due here. So you're going to see Jerome on your left here, and of course, as has been the case all season long, we will not switch sides in between sets. So Jerome on your left in the black, Bradley on your right in the gray. Cam Eckelberry will be the libero for Jerome wearing the white jersey, and for Bradley on the right side of your screen, J.J. Moyne will be the libero, and Jerome will get us serving here to start this regional final. And it's long. Kai Van Borgendien goes long on the opener, and the first point to the Jaguars.
Now you got to think there's got to be a little bit of extra nerves involved with something like this.
Tack Tam, honorable mention East Regional, puts it in play. Now to the far side. That is dug out nicely by Jin Tam on the near side. And here is Jonah Gilbert, and making his presence felt from the back line. Greg, we knew he'd be involved. It didn't take long.
Well, he gets up quick, and obviously when you're player of the year, people have that kind of target on you, but sometimes you just jump over top of that.
6'5". He's going to Grand Canyon to play volleyball next year. And as Greg said, the East Region Player of the Year has his team out to a 2-0 lead. That is blocked, but right into the net. Tyler Nutting doing the job for the Celtics, and he'll get the serve back on this side.
That was good coverage there by Bradley. They had the players there, but just perfect shot right in between the hands.
Tyler Nutting, first team All-East Region, will serve it up with his team trailing 2-1 here in the first set. That is a wicked serve and just barely kept up, but can't be played over. It'll be an ace for Nutting. That is a nasty serve to deal with.
I'll tell you what, Tack Tam did everything he could trying after the initial dig from the serve, put it back, but none of his teammates could get it up and over.
So Jerome responds with 2 after the first 2 go to Bradley. Gilbert plays this one safely. Gilbert from the back line. That is blocked, but going way long, and there he is again. Doesn't matter where he is on the floor. Get him involved.
Well, I'll tell you what, they went after him on the serve, and the fact that he was able to dig that out, get a nice pass to get the set right back to him with that backline attack.
Quick kill there, easily dug out by Jin Tam, and here he is again, and there he is again.
Wow. Tell you what, that's going to be hard to cover. He had the backline attack on the shot before that. He's on the outside left that time, and not much stopping him.
4-2 in favor of Bradley. Nutting from the backline, that's blocked, kept up, and it'll be set over, and I think we have contact at the net from Ben Kripe. So the point goes to Bradley, so the run now at 3 in a row for the Jaguars.
It was good coverage that time, but I think Kripe just a little bit trying to anticipate that big hit from Jonah Gilbert.
Max Utrup gets one down easily. J.J. Moyne got his feet kind of nailed to the floor there on the near side, and the Celtics will take it back with Eckleberry going to serve.
It was a good angle, too. He was from the far left side and cross court and found the opening.
See if they set it up to Gilbert. Here he is. Good job on the far side by Nutting just to keep that one alive. Not the best play there, but Bradley's going to get away with it as we have contact up top again.
Well, you got to feel bad for the Celtics on that one because they had the nice dig on Gilbert, and it's tough just to even get that ball back up and to get it to the front line and to have a nice opportunity to set.
J.J. Moyne on serve now. And from the back line, Nutting a bit awkward there. It's popped up, and Gilbert there with the block, but I think he might. I thought he caught. No, he did not. I thought he touched the net. Instead, they're saying it's Will Helmreich of Jerome that touched the net. So Jerome's got to make an adjustment here. That's 3 times now we've seen net contact in the first 10 points.
Well, and they're trying to cover Gilbert, but that time he was in the middle. And like we said, he's moving them around.
Tam near side. Here's Gilbert again, and it's blocked, but gets through. Just enough on it. As you said, good coverage there, I thought, from the Celtics. But Gilbert right now just has the hot hand early, and the Jags lead 8-3.
Well, Ben Kripe was there again for Jerome, but just couldn't quite get the hands back to send the ball over.
Here's Moyne again. Gets a little help from the tape. Nutting from the back line. Dug out by Moyne. They'll go the opposite side this time and catches the back line. Elijah Saloka catches the back line. They go opposite of Gilbert this time. No coverage there.
Well, I think you might have to start seeing when Jerome is returning the ball that they may have to go from the back line just to get it around Jonah Gilbert.
From the back line again, that one is good. Nutting finds an empty space on the back line, and Jerome stops the run, but the Celtics still trailing 9-4.
Well, Jin Tam was kind of sneaking up a little bit on that one and just got the ball over his head.
Ripe with the serve. Here comes Gilbert. Can't do anything with it. What do you do? What do you do?
Well, he had 3 sets of hands in front of him, and that time it was 6'3" Max Utrup trying to dig out on that one. He was the farthest away. That angle that Jonah Gilbert took from that outside That was wicked.
You're not going to find very many in this tournament who are going to have the leaping ability of Jonah Gilbert. And it's playing dividends early here as Tanner Deal comes in and now to serve with his team leading 10-4. That's blocked by Gilbert, but it'll go out wide, and Utrip gets the point back.
Well, he was in the right position that time, but I think the hands just a little bit separated. It was just a little bit late getting the hands to the inside and forced the ball over to the outer line, out of bounds.
Moyne's carry's going to go all the way over, and that's a gift up front for Tyler Nutting.
Well, sometimes it pays to be lucky.
Yes, it does.
Sometimes a little surprise like that can pay dividends.
Utrip will look it again, see if he looks for Moyne again. He will, but Moyne safely plays this one. Going across, here's Gilbert. Nicely dug out by Kripe. Not the best feed over, and Gilbert kind of had to throw the change up there. Nutting long. Jerome just not really in any kind of sync offensively early on.
And I think a lot of it has to do is because they're putting so much attention on Jonah Gilbert, and when you're kind of leaning to one side trying to make that cover, if it gets to the far side, then adjustments needed.
Kripe with an awkward play. Here is Nutting. Nicely done. Goes up the line this time instead of cross court for the winner.
Well, and we talked about it. We said Tyler Nutting giving up the size. He's only 5'10", but he was first team in the East region. He had some pretty good ups that time, and that ball got down real quick.
Nutting goes back to serve now. Jerome trailing 11-7. Set across the way. Gilbert, wow. Again from the back line.
What a weapon.
And there's no answer for it right now.
When you got a player like that can put the ball down that hard from back beyond the back line attack, that's special.
Arel Eliev now in to serve, and kind of a pop fly goes just long.
Did you see it before he even served that? He had the dribbling going. He had the between the legs cross dribbling, and
that'll throw you off a little bit.
I don't know if that threw him off, but if he can get that down, that's
a clever play. Moyne with the first. Now to Tam. Here is Gilbert from the back line again.
Wow.
And got it again.
Just the fact he gets up so high and from a back row attack to have that kind of downward movement on the ball when you're still, 6-10 meters back, that's pretty impressive.
He's looking at Coach Zach Franklin right now with a assured nod like, I got this, as that one goes way too long for the service error, and the point over to the Celtics, who were trailing 13-9. And the way Gilbert has controlled things here in the first set, if you're Jerome right now, I think you got to be kind of happy you're only down 13-9.
Was thinking the exact same thing.
Moyne with a nice play off serve. Here is Gilbert. Not going to get a lot on that one. This is a very playable ball for the Celtics. Got to take advantage. And they can't do it.
I think Max Utrip couldn't get that one over that time. He had a couple of hands in his face and tried to go cross court and just didn't get it over.
A very sharp angle he tried to play there. Jin Tam now quickly on serve. Nutting from the back line, just wide.
The right shot, though. Right idea. He'll get it. And you're still first set right now, but you brought up a great point. At 15-9, it really seems like Jerome has kind of been playing from behind this whole game, but they're still within reach.
That's much better from Utrip. Didn't try to mess around with that cross-court stuff, bury it in the back.
Well, sometimes it's just about the placement. It doesn't always have to be about the pace. And that time he found the opening and took complete advantage.
15-10. Jerome trails here in set number 1 of this East Regional Final. Cam Eckelberry with the serve now. Second play over to Gilbert, and that's important right there. It takes him away offensively. Near side, and nicely done by Kripe.
Well, you can see Kripe's got a lot of confidence out there, and a couple of the plays haven't gone his way here in the early portion of this first set. But as he starts to loosen up just a little bit, he's going to be a player to be reckoned with through this as well.
He and Gilbert have had a running conversation for most of this first set. They're going to meet at the summit here, and kept alive on the back line by Eckelberry, but then a miscommunication. Those are the types of points you can't have.
Yeah. Well, when you're hanging around in a game like that, you can't have the unforced errors, and that's unfortunate for the Celtics.
J.J. Moyne back on serve, his team leading 16-11. Nutting from the back line, wow.
that?
Off the shoulder of Moyne, and then I think hit off the chest of Jin Tam, and I don't even think Jin Tam realized that it hit him.
He most definitely did not see it coming back his way, but that's a nice down by Nutting.
Here's Kripe, just barely played up by Moyne. Utrip there. Miscommunication there between Moyne and Jin Tam on the back line. It went right between them.
That was one of those ones where it's just reaction time, and you just got to pop that one straight up. And Tam a little out of the platform, a little off to his left, and couldn't quite get it up.
First play, here is Gilbert. He's been quiet lately. And no, we've got a call up top here. I think a foot fault called against Jerome on the serve. Kind of a late call there. But nevertheless, that play is wiped out. So point to the Jags. They lead 17-13.
Well, the back line judge had his flag waving around. I think it took a moment for the up ref to find it.
Deal on serve with the left hand, and wise of Eckelberry to let it go.
Well, anytime that Jerome can get a mistake from Bradley, they got to take advantage of it. Now you want to turn that into 2 or 3 points and hang around. You're only down 3.
And you can get the sense right now, Bradley settled down here a little bit after a highly emotional start, and Jerome has kind of stayed level. And they're chipping away. Nutting, nicely done. Boy, you wouldn't know there's a 7-inch height difference between Nutting and Gilbert, the way Nutting can get up off the floor.
I think Arolele got a little bit of a touch on that right at the net, and that kind of disrupted anybody behind for Bradley to be able to get that ball back up.
This one way long, though, from Utrip. But nevertheless, Jerome working themselves back in, chipping away at it, still finding themselves down just 3.
You got to think that this is how maybe they pulled a surprise just to even get here, beating Olentangy Orange, the 4 seed.
Just hang around.
Yep.
See what Gilbert does here on serve. Kind of a knuckleball. An awkward play, but he'll get away with it as Will Helmreich didn't get a lot of pace on that, but found the right trajectory for the point, and now again Jerome with a chance to get within 1.
Well, you got Gilbert in the back line right now as well, so you got to take advantage of that when he's not at the net.
Oh, bad miss from Helmreich, and he knew it, and he'll head out.
It's a fast-paced game here so far.
It has been not a lot of sustained rallies here.
No.
Very decisive points either way.
Ooh, look at that serve.
Pop fly almost looked like the underhand variety. There's the change up there, and it's played up. Tam's got to send it over. And now the Celtics with a good chance. Here is Nutting. Blocked, but out. Good job on the far side by Tam to get up and challenge, but couldn't keep it in. And Jerome will have another chance to get within 1.
I think he was just a tad late getting to the net. He was a little bit back off the net, forced that ball out of bounds.
Set it up right for Gilbert in the middle. What an amazing pop up there by Van Borgendine. Here he comes again. And there he goes again as that ball is in.
Oh,
near side called it in. Far side line judge called it out. And so Jerome within 1. Bradley's going to take a timeout here. I think if you're Jerome, you got to be pretty fired up with where you are right now. You've stayed the course.
1 point down, and you talked about it. I mean, it was the initial energy that Bradley came out with and just setting up Jonah Gilbert, and that was go to Gilbert, whether he was in the front, whether he was in the back. And then Jerome was doing the same thing, trying to go at him on the serve. They kind of withstood that pressure. Bradley had a nice little lead early on, but Jerome just hanging around. And got to tell you, it's got to be the recipe for what they did to Orange.
Yeah. And what you've also seen as this first set has gone on is they've been able to work away from Jonah Gilbert on both offensively and defensively. Really, that last couple of points right there, first time we'd really called his name in a while, and he has not left the floor. He's not been a factor.
Because we've had so many quick rallies and side outs back and forth, we've had the rotation go through a couple of different times. So while you've got Jonah Gilbert, the East Player of the Year in that back row, that is exactly when Jerome has to take advantage of it.
And so far, as of late, they've been doing it. Gilbert got his from the back line early in this first set when Bradley jumped out to a 6-point lead early on at 8-2. But since then, the Celtics, as I said, they've just stayed the course. Just steady as she goes. You know it's also early in the match as well. You've got a long way to go. Their energy level, you can also hear from their bench, has slowly been creeping up.
Well, you said 8-2. It's now they're trailing 18-19, but that's a 16-11 run on their side.
They'll try and keep it going with Van Borgendine on serve right at Gilbert. An awkward play, and it's going to throw everything off, and the Celtics are going to have a really good chance to try and tie this first set. And Nutting does it as Moyne can't handle it.
Well, and I think it's what Jerome is going to try to do is go at Jonah Gilbert on that serve when he's in the back row. And that's exactly what they did. Now, he certainly has had a couple of other ones where he has gotten him up, but
go right at him, and in theory takes him out of things. He's got so much strength, though. That one is rejected at the net. Not sure that would have made it over anyway, but Kripe was right there as Gilbert with a miss hit.
No, I think they're giving it to the Jags.
Might have seen net contact there, perhaps. I didn't see it.
I don't think the ball came back over from the Jerome side. I think he did get it over. But how far back did he start that jump?
Yes, incredible how far he can get. Nutting, far side. Oh. That is a miss.
Oh, got a touch on it, though, at the net.
They did get a touch.
And sometimes that's, again, you can get those lucky breaks. A shot might be going long, but the reaction at the net, you have to go up to try to block. We
are tied at 20 in this set.
Wow.
And you just get the feeling as it's gone along, Jerome now fully feels like they're in this thing. And as soon as I say that, Nutting sends one way too long. But nevertheless, they're in this.
They most definitely are in this, and you got to think Nutting at that point, the energy that he was feeling, the adrenaline he had, probably just a little bit too much on the serve.
Misplay off the first hit, and now Bradley will have a chance here with Gilbert back on that front line, and you just can't do anything with that.
Well, he's on the front row again now, so you can't make a mistake like that. If you're not going to get a good opportunity to shoot that one down, you could be in trouble from Jonah Gilbert.
Like this timeout here from Jerome, just to kind of settle things down. A couple of points now have gone away from me here, as now Bradley is 3 points away from this first set. But nevertheless, you got to feel like watching this, if you're Jerome, after that start when they were taking, it looked like Bradley was going to run away with this. They now feel like this is going to go a while. This is not going to be like a sweep here.
This is not going to be a 3-set sweep. It is going to be. It's already got the feel where you can see this one kind of extend itself out, but going right down to the wire. And I think since Jerome had not played Bradley, had not seen Jonah Gilbert at least playing high school-wide. Now, a lot of these guys probably play club together and have faced each other over the course of the year. But in this environment, this situation, it took a few points to get settled down. And Jerome kind of withstood that, overcame it, and now it's been a little bit of a back and forth.
Now we'll see if Bradley can try and put a run here to put this set away now that Jonah Gilbert is back on the front line.
Well, I mean, this first pass is so important to get something set up, because if you just have to send a 3-ball over.
And it'll be to Eckelberry, and this should be playable here for the Celtics. They'll go to the middle. They haven't done that a lot, but it's kept alive. And here's Gilbert, not the best pass there, and that is blocked at the net. The pass to Gilbert led him right to the net, and that is trouble.
Yeah, I don't think he really had a chance to get the full force on that.
No.
He likes to go straight up and down. He was going towards the net that time. The momentum, he didn't have quite the effort that he normally has.
Eckelberry on serve. Tam going over. Again, not a good pass there. Gilbert couldn't get into that one. Uttrup down, and we are tied once again.
Nice.
They just don't go away.
Well, and I think what you're seeing here, too, is we kind of talked about it a little bit. We've seen the upsets throughout the East region, Division I and II, but these Dayton or these Columbus area teams just kind of beat up on each other.
Good decision there. Jin Tam waited till the absolute last second to pull those arms out of the way.
Well, and I think you got to give Jonah Gilbert some credit. He was talking to him. He was right there, too, making sure he knew.
Bradley now 2 points away from the set. Moyne on serve. Not the best first play, but still playable. And really kind of everything thrown off from there. Now Moyne going behind, and Gilbert. It'll be kept alive. And now Uttrup found some space. Well, you talk about throwing a changeup. He completely fooled the far side of Bradley there.
You just call that the donut hole.
Yeah.
You got that big, giant opening in the middle, everybody around the outside, and they found the opening.
Now Ben Kripe just gets that one over. That ball's leaning over, and boy, Bradley's going to catch a gift there. Just a misplay on the far side, and now Bradley has set point. And Jerome will use its second and final timeout of the set ahead of time.
Well, I'll tell you what, and that's unfortunate when you have just little unforced errors like that one. And that was just a set that I think maybe it didn't go where he expected the set to go.
And perhaps overthinking it a little bit too. That ball seemed to float up there forever.
He kind of held till the last second trying to get to that spot. But that play before that, though, in the point that Jerome was able to extend it to get to the serve before Hilliard got to the first set point, you have to give some credit to the sophomore Kai von Borgadine, who really, after the initial Kripe dig, came over right in front of the bench area, but was able to get it back to the middle of the court so Jerome could handle it, get it over, and actually have a playable shot, not just
exactly. And that's the point I was going to make too. And to not only keep it in, but make it a playable ball. That is much more difficult than it looks. And he made it look routine. But as it stands now, Tanner Deal has the ball in hand, and Bradley has set point. It looked like Bradley was going to run away and hide in this first set early on, but the Celtics responded, and we've been going back and forth really ever since. On Borgandini to the far side of Utrup and hit the antenna in the first set. Will go to Bradley. Another bad break there for Jerome.
Yeah, Max Utrup kind of went up and wasn't sure what he wanted to do with it. At first he wanted to spike, and then he just had to kind of touch it over, and was kind of out in no man's land a little bit too wide and hit the antenna.
We'll step aside here for just a moment. Bradley has won the first set over Jerome in this regional final, 25-23. Set 2 next, live from Westerville Central High School. I want to thank everyone for tuning in here on OHSBVABroadcast.com for these East Regional Finals. A reminder, you can always watch these games both live and on demand. That goes for both the regionals as well as the state championships. You can watch all the matches live and on demand on OHSBVABroadcasts.com.
Yeah, we've got 12 matches this weekend. These first 3 tonight. If that first set's any indicator of what we've got over the next 2 weekends, it's going to be some fun. But $5.99 each broadcast, and you can kind of pick and choose. And you mentioned it too, Jason, the fact that you can go back and archive and watch them after the fact, kind of at your own leisure. That's what the beauty of this is. This is our 10th year for ESP Media doing the OHSBVA championships in the season, and this season unlike any others. And we're not at Capital University this year for the championship weekend, but very excited next weekend to get to pick North and see what they can do, and should be a lot of fun.
We'll have all the coverage there. Of course, the East Regional, the only region going on Friday night. The North, South, and the West, they're all going to play on Saturday, all at the same time. So you've got your pick on OHSBVABroadcast.com. If you're fans here, you're gonna take on a team from the North region, so you've got a chance to do a little advanced scouting for whichever team comes out of this. You can get a look ahead and see what to expect in the state quarterfinal round, which will be next Saturday up at Pick Central, and we are ready here at set number 2 here. Tac-Tam gets things going for the Jags.
Nice. That's a good start.
Very, very crisp and clean offense from Jerome right off the bat. Tyler Nutting with the kill.
Yeah, get Tyler Nutting involved, just like that Bradley did getting Jonah Gilbert involved. You got to get the ball to Nutting. He's your first-team all East Region player.
Von Borgandine with the serve, and now that ball is kept up off the kill attempt from Elijah Soloka. Here's Gilbert from the back line, blocked down. They'll just have to send this one over, and now a real good chance for the Celtics. Missed time. Missed time on the jump there from Alex Leffler in the middle. It was laid up on a tee, and I think he thought it was going to be a little lower with the ball leading him toward the net, and just essentially whiffed on it.
Yeah, we didn't see Leffler in the first set, so he's getting his first crack at action, or at least a lot anyway.
And now another misplay off not the best pass, kind of led Nutting toward the sideline, and not much he could do with it. And so a couple of unforced errors giving Bradley some opportunities here.
Elijah Soloka also in the game now for Bradley. Didn't see him in the first set.
And you can see what Jerome is doing when they get things set up. They are targeting J.J. Moyne early and often on that back line for Bradley. Moyne 12 in black on the near side. He is Bradley's libero. they've been going at him early and often on offense. This is tailor-made for Gilbert, but not the best pass, but it's blocked out. Kripe was there, just couldn't get the right angle.
Yeah, just unfortunately, I think that one got him more on the inside hand, but that hand was a little bit out in front, and that's what pushed it wide.
Moyne goes back to serve with the Jags leading 3-2. Utrop somehow kept alive, and Gilbert trying to get fancy, playing it over on the second. Tam again with the dig. Here is Gilbert, finally got one up on a tee, and it will go over to Bradley.
Tam, he got tested twice on that one for Bradley. Nice digs, not once but twice. Back-to-back efforts, keeping that up.
It takes such incredible toughness to be willing to stand there and take that, knowing that ball is coming at you with incredible velocity. From the back line, kept up. It seems tailor-made for Gilbert. Here he is. Kept alive, though. Jerome doing a much better job keeping the ball alive off the hand of Gilbert.
Nice.
That is in.
But you see who set that? Tyler Nunning is the one that set that one up. He called it, he wanted it, made the perfect set, and that gave Leffler the opportunity to get that cross.
One of the reasons why he's first team All-East region, that unselfishness and can do it all. Not the best play initially, and Moyne's just going to have to send it over, and a very playable opportunity here for the Celtics. Nutting from the back line. Tam again with the dig. Oh, Gilbert nearly got one. Played back. Nutting sends it over. This has been the most sustained rally of the match thus far, and it's going to still be kept alive. Eckelberry couldn't play off the second, though. Best rally of the match.
Without a doubt, and give Eckelberry a lot of credit. He went back deep into the gym to go get that one. It had a lot of spin on it, though, and he was trying to get it over his shoulder, so he had his back towards the net, kind of blindly trying to put it back. Just took a little spin off the arm.
5-3, Bradley leads. Tanner Deal will have it on hand to try to extend the lead. Another missed time in the middle. Helmreich this time mistimed his jump. I think maybe you might see Jerome start working away from the middle. They've not had a lot of success in there.
And I think a lot of times in the middle you want that quick set. You don't want that higher set, and I think that might have been what he was expecting.
Deal returns the favor, though, with the service error.
Turnabout's fair play.
Kripe will now serve. Jerome trailing 6-4 here in the set. And he puts it right into the net.
I mentioned these teams did not play each other in the regular season, as we see now Jonah Gilbert to the back line. The East Player of the Year.
East Player of the Year, he's going to Grand Canyon next year. Nutting from the back line. Keeps it alive. Here is Gilbert from the back line. Kept up by Kripe. Nobody there in the middle to claim that one. And how about Tam winning the fight at the summit against Max Utrop? And we're looking up here, and there's going to be about a 5 or 6 inch height difference there.
Oh, that's just a nice little joust, and sometimes the battle of wills will win.
Actually, 8 inches. Utrop 6'3", Tam at 5'7". You just never know. And that ball, a miss hit all the way from Nutting. Things going wide, and Jerome, as I thought, will take a timeout here as Bradley start to stretch the lead out here with a 9-4 lead. Right now, I'm looking at things the way things are going right now, Greg. This is more on Jerome, just a little sloppy right now with this set.
Well, and we saw that a couple of times in the first set as well. There was a little nerves early on. There were some big hits from the Bradley side of things that forced some of those plays. But Jerome had some of their kind of unforced errors that put them in a hole. They dug out. They kind of calmed themselves down. But Bradley seems to come in waves, and you just have to withstand that and stay away from the self-induced errors and try to battle through that, and then get the serve back to your side and run some points.
Well, and the thing also now too is you can't fall into this pattern going forward here. You've already dropped the first set. Now you're falling behind here in set number 2. They rallied back in the first set. But eventually, you have to know that Bradley is too good to continually let you back into this matchup. You got to come out better to start these sets.
Well, and you got to wonder if Phil Cagnoli, the coach for Jerome, knows something about maybe timeouts and Jonah Gilbert serving. So that was a pretty quick timeout, even though that it's a 5-point deficit right now. You can kind of sense things kind of going south just a little bit. You've got their big guy back, who he's also got a nice serve from that back line. So it's not like he's not a weapon when he's not at the net.
But we saw as the first set went along, Jerome did a lot of its damage with Gilbert on the back line,
yep.
and also working away from him a lot. So we'll see if that continues here, as we have a few patrons working their way in, and they need to get seated before we can resume play here, as nobody's allowed to be on the floor while play is going on.
Well, Tyler Nutting was talking to the up ref too. I'm not sure what he was discussing.
I think if anything, maybe just let's go.
Yeah.
It's a regional final. I don't want to wait. Here's Gilbert with the serve. Utrip, way long.
Yeah, no touch at the net either as well. And, that was a smart play by Jonah Gilbert on the serve. Sometimes that adrenaline, you want to slam that ball on the serve. He just made sure he got the ball over.
He'll put a little side spin on these as well and try and tail it down into the floor.
He's got some knuckle on it.
There's another one right at Kripe. Utrip will get another try at it. That is blocked.
Got over.
But yes, it never did. Tape it, rejected by the tape. And so Bradley's starting to stretch it out here now, the lead up to 7.
Watch the ball. I mean, it is a knuckleball. It barely has any rotation on the serve from Jonah Gilbert.
It's amazing that he chooses to go this route on the serves, given how hard he can drop it at the net. Nutting from the back line, and a bad break there as Deal slipped trying to keep that one alive, and Jerome finally stops the run.
Well, they went on the quick set as well that time to try and get the ball over quicker and maybe catch Bradley a step back.
Utrip now back on serve and right into the net. Another unforced error. And
yeah, we don't have the stats here to check, but there's been quite a few service errors that are just giving points away from the Jerome side of things.
Jerome being its own worst enemy right now here in the second set, and Bradley's trying to run away. That's a good one.
I love the serve, though, by Lalev for the Jags. I mean, he's just kind of got that little pop serve. He does a little juggle, dribble with the ball, and he's really not sure where the ball's going to go.
Tim now to Gilbert. What a back set there. Kept alive by Nutting into the middle and over. Good job by Nutting just to keep that one in play. Tam trying to get fancy, but Jerome there. And, oh, my goodness. Take some frustration out, young man.
Tyler Nutting came from the side there, and that set was kind of in between the outside hitter and the middle hitter. And Nutting just took control and came over and pushed that one down with some authority.
Excuse me, my ball.
Yeah, out of my way.
Yes. Set up for Gilbert from that back line. Again, Jerome's done a much better job of handling it. That ball's going to get over. And that's going to be 4 as Gilbert came up from the back line and just nubbed it off his fingertips.
Well, he's not allowed to hit it there anyway.
No, he's not.
No,
he's not. I'm surprised he went up there and called it so demonstrably.
Well, I think he realized it was after the fact.
Yeah. Another service error.
You hate to see that. And he's your serve specialist coming in. That was Will Helmrich.
And especially in a situation where you were starting to get some momentum going, start to chip away at things, and you give the point right back. Nutting kept up by Moyne. Here's Gilbert. Kripe keeps it alive. Here's Nutting one more time. Not the best angle.
Wow.
He's going to find it anyway. That is such a sharp and clever play from Nutting across the court.
That wasn't even going to get through where the front back row attack line is at. That was that sharp of an angle shot, cutting it all the way across.
On Borgandine to Moyne, and Moyne's had some trouble handling serves here today, and a misplay there. I think Borgandine was looking for Eckelberry there, and I don't think Eckelberry ever called him off on it.
Well, and on the other side of things, Jonah Gilbert, too, didn't really have the best swing, but he still has so much confidence that he still, with a little bit of authority, just kind of flat-footed, still sent that one over.
14-9, Bradley leads. Not the best first play, and it throws everything off.
Jin Tam doesn't waste any time, does he?
No, he doesn't. Blocked down. Saloka on the far side gets that one. Rarely has he been involved here tonight, but a big play here. And now Jerome will burn its final timeout of the set with Bradley leading 16-9, and that's what good teams do. Just stay on top of you. Just kind of the old adage, you just lean on somebody, lean on them, and you start. And we're seeing Jerome making more and more mistakes here in the second.
Well, and then when you're getting plays from the opposite side hitters, you're trying to hit away from Jonah Gilbert's strong side, so you're going after Saloka and Cam Bartles, but they had the angle cut off. Both players hands up. There wasn't a lot of room to get that ball through, and it was Saloka that was there to be able to get that block and put it back down.
So now, if you're Coach Phil Cagnoli over at Jerome, what are you telling your kids to try and keep them up right now? Because Bradley's on the verge of running away with the second set.
Yeah, and this is a very dangerous spot now. If you can come out of this timeout and break the serve for Bradley, get the ball back, then you need to have a rally. But it's going to really come down to what happens on this serve. And even if maybe you don't break the serve on this one, you still need a good set play. You need a good pass right from the serve. You need maybe a good set and maybe even a good look at the net, even if you don't get the point, just to build some confidence.
As soon as the whistle blows, Jintam is ready to go. Not the best play over to Nutting, but they'll get a break. As Gilbert had it deflect up the side of his hand, and Camden Bartles couldn't get over to it.
Well, the fact that Nutting was even able to get from that angle inside the antenna and over the net.
Yeah. And over the net and through Gilbert.
And through Gilbert on top, yeah.
My goodness, what a missile, but a great job by Moyne. Sets it up for Gilbert. Eckelberry's going to send that one into the stands.
Well, that all started because of the return when you were able to get that return back up, and Moyne was able to, the junior libero back there, able to pop that ball straight up. That sets everything up.
Here he is on serve, again with a 7-point lead. Not the best pass, and Gilbert rejects Kripe at the summit.
Yeah, you are not going to win that joust with the East Player of the Year, 6'5", Jonah Gilbert.
18-10 in favor of Bradley. Eckelberry, not the best play. My goodness, just tee it up.
Yeah.
You couldn't have asked. Gilbert dreams of those types of plays, as Eckelberry is really struggling here in the second.
Well, and I think Eckelberry's thinking, like, what's Jonah Gilbert doing in the middle there? I mean, I mishit it, but if I mishit it, hopefully it's not in a bad area. That's not the guy you want to mishit to.
Moyne going to the far side. May have been better served to let that one go out. Nutting kept up. Tam over to Gilbert. Gets it down.
Boy, I'll tell you what, he is so good at readjusting. That serve the set was a little off net. He wanted it a little bit closer, so he kind of peeled back, but he's got such quick ups that he can make that adjustment.
20-10 in favor of Bradley. Nutting from the back line again. That deflected and kept alive by Tam on the back line. Here is Gilbert. Kind of a crow hop to just pop that one over.
Nice little roll shot. A lot of spin.
Got the line. Near side, Kripe.
I don't think there's a whole lot more Jonah Gilbert could do when he just rolled that ball over, but that certainly set up the opportunity for Jerome. This may be their last chance to make a good run to get back into this one. They got to take advantage.
And if anything, you want to try and get some kind of momentum going toward the third set. Second time out of there you go. Wilhelmreich in the middle.
Well, and here's where Bradley's got to be careful, too. You don't want to give Jerome a whole lot of confidence and just give them that little inch that they can take, because they showed it in the first set. They can kind of hang around.
Moyne with an awkward pass over to Gilbert, took him out of the play. They love setting him up from the back line, but way too flat on that attempt from Nutting, and it's back to a 9-point Bradley lead.
Just a little mistimed on that hit. It was the right idea, but ball was just a little bit low on him and not able to cut down enough to get that ball to hit the back line.
Tanner Deal on serve.
He went left-handed on that.
Yes, he did. Far side, U-trip, cross court, way too wide. Very simple play right now, and Jerome's having difficulty with those.
Well, Bradley is a 2-seed, and there's a reason that they've only lost twice all season long.
Awkward from the get-go. Nutting still got some kind of pace on that. Good exchange at the net. Here is Gilbert having to go out wide, and that's not going to make it over.
What an impressive play by Tyler Nutting. Just to even really kind of flat-footed, just a little hop to get that ball over. And and extend that play just enough that it kind of got Bradley out of rhythm.
How he got pace on that ball, I'll never know.
Confidence. That's hitting the ball hundreds and hundreds of times.
Not a bad way for Bubya Gupta to make his presence felt in the match for the first time. Little help from the tape. It doesn't matter. It's an ace all the same.
And he's going to say, that's exactly what I planned.
Yeah, planned it.
I practice that all the time.
Yeah. This one clean over. Tam near side, Gilbert. Gupta keeps it alive. That's going right to the tape, and Gilbert's going to win that one almost every time. Von Borgendine trying to say that Gilbert touched the net up top. I think he might have a case.
Well, I think Cagnoli's trying to say he was over the net as well. Didn't give his guys a chance to hit the ball, and he's not going to win that battle.
As it stands, Gilbert back to serve. Bradley 2 points away from a 2-0 lead. Not the best first play there, and Von Borgendine tried to just pop it over and couldn't do it, and now Bradley has 9 set points.
And they got their big guy, Jonah Gilbert. Let's see what he does on this serve when he got a little bit to play with. See something a little bit more with pace.
Oh. That had no movement at all. Nutting from the back line. Moyne, nice dig. Gilbert for the set. Got it. They played like a number 2 seed in that set. And now Jerome has some serious regrouping to do as they are on the brink. Bradley wins set 2, 25-14. They now lead 2-0 and will look to close it out coming up in just a moment live in this East Regional Final. Set 3 about to begin in this East Regional Final. Bradley leading Jerome 2-0. We're glad you're joining us here on OHSBBABroadcast.com for exclusive coverage of the OHSBBA Regionals and State Championships. You can watch these games both live and go back and watch them on demand at any time. OHSBBABroadcast.com. Put it on Facebook, tweet it, Instagram, all the other social medias that I don't know how to work. Put them out on all of them. Tell all your friends. Since a lot of the venues are having limited attendance, this is the best way you're going to get the best coverage of it. And we're glad with ESP Media, our 10th year of coverage here of these championships. And boy, Bradley looked like a team, Greg, in that second set that looked like it was ready to close this thing out, move on to Pick Central next week in the state tournament, and do some damage.
They cut down on some of their own mistakes, and unfortunately for the Jerome Celtics, though, they were a lot more guilty of some of those unforced errors, and you're giving some free points away, and you got a kid like Jonah Gilbert, you may have just seen there.
Just touches the top of the antenna like it's nothing.
Doesn't even think twice about it. It's just he's a phenomenal player, and it'll be fun to watch and see what he does after his high school days are done when he heads over to Grand Canyon. But you've seen stranger things happen. 2 sets down doesn't mean it's done with. And if Jerome can kind of recapture some of what they had in that first set, cut down on the mistakes, and get the serve over the net, give yourself a chance.
And I think right now also, if you're Coach Cagnoli, you got to tell your team we need to win one.
Yeah.
We can't worry about winning three in a row. We have to win this one. Let's worry about this one. We'll go from there. We see the Jerome bench getting its fans up on their feet to try and get things going, get off to a better start. That's been as big a problem as anything for Jerome. It's the slow starts in each of the first 2 sets. They can't have that here in the third.
No, not against a team of caliber of the Bradley Jaguars. They're gonna bury you just a little bit if you don't get those serves in when you've got them, as Tyler Nuttig set to get things started here for Jerome. You got to take advantage of these opportunities.
This is the guy you would want on serve to get things going. He fired a missile at Moyne, who somehow just self-preservation kept it alive.
That was a cutter as well. That had movement to the far outside.
Gilbert, not the best pass, and he's going to nearly got away with one, and he will get away with one. That was a complete changeup from Jonah Gilbert there. Just a low, flat ball. Found an open spot.
But he had such court vision, though. He hit it right to an area that was going to be tough for anybody for Jerome to cover.
That's something you can't teach that.
No, that's just...
That is God-given ability right there from Jonah Gilbert. That is so clever.
The instinct to have something like that, to be able to do that, and the control to be able to do that. Illegal substitution.
Got to get the substitution exchange there straight out. And credit to J.J. Moyne going over and pointing out to the official that we had a substitution there so as to not incur an infraction. Misplay by Eckleberry. Still going to be played by Nutting and is in. I think Moyne made the right play there.
Yeah.
He knew where he was on the floor. He just got unlucky.
Even if you were going to try to hit it, you're not going to make a good hit on that ball anyway. And for Eckleberry, I think he's got to attack those serves a little bit better on the receive. Going for that, he kind of let that ball play him.
It's a big spotlight here for Eckleberry, and he's just a sophomore. So, of course, no season last year, so he's having to learn on the fly in this big stage.
That's a great point, too. And any of these freshmen or sophomore that are playing, this is their first crack at varsity action, and this deep into the season, this is your first crack now playing tournament time as well.
Tam on serve, wastes no time. Nutting from that back line. Wow, Tam kept it alive. It's going over, though. Very playable again for Jerome. Here is Utrip. Tam again, another beautiful dig. He'll have to play this one over clever to bring his foot up to not step on that back line. That one into the net.
Well, you had Jonah Gilbert there trying to cover it. Give Jin Tam a lot of credit, though. He extended that little rally to keep it alive.
How he was only honorable mention in the East region just goes
He's pretty
to show
good.
you how good this East region has been all year long. Nutting again. Ooh. Just long.
That did not miss by much.
No, it didn't. I thought it was good off the initial contact.
That's why we're up here.
Yes, exactly right. Why we don't have flags in our hands. Utrip, that one clearly in. Deflected up front by Camden Bartles of Bradley. But still, Bradley leads early in the set.
Jerome needs to get Max Utrep involved in this just a little bit. He had quite a big say in keeping that first set pretty close. He was pretty quiet in that second set.
Gilbert sends it over, and it'll be kept alive. Utrip just has to play it through. Gilbert gets to wind up this time, and just nothing Kripe can do.
Kripe, the fact that he got that first shot up enough, you might want to check his fingernails on that one because he used every little inch that he had just to keep that alive initially for Jerome, but the Jags still able to finish him off.
5-2 in favor of Bradley.
Oh, boy.
Too long, Nutting with too flat again from that back line, and Bradley doing what it did in the first two sets, building an early lead and forcing Jerome to play from behind.
Well, I think Tyler Nutting's hoping maybe he gets a touch on those balls going when he's at that back line attack, and not biting are the Jags.
Utrip long.
Same again.
Very playable ball over there to the far side, and Utrip just not as sharp as we've seen since the first set.
Yeah, and when you don't have those hands in your face, you need to convert and get those balls down. You can't send them long. You got to at least make Bradley try and make a play on it.
Kept alive by Tam. And now Gilbert just guides it through. On Borgendine, back to Nutting, and there again. You see again, Jerome made a lot of hay offensively, attacking J.J. Moyne in the first set. Nutting goes back there this time and gains the point.
Yeah, they certainly seem to like to go to that back line from that back row attack and get that ball deep.
Gilbert winds it up, and it's deflected out. Not much Helmreich can do right there. He's looking around frustrated. You're in position to where you need to be. You're just dealing with one of the best players in the state of Ohio.
Borgendine was right there as well. Van Borgendine was there as well, and you got that much juice on it.
8-3 in favor of the Jags. And Borgendine over to Nutting coming up on the front line this time. Very playable ball for Moyne. Gilbert on the far side. We haven't seen him on that right side very often. And gets the block there at the point. Again, Van Borgendine again trying to say that Gilbert either crossed through or made net contact.
Well, and you got Phil Cagnoli saying the same thing again, too, and he's not winning that argument.
I think they might just be discussing this.
Well, I think after that play, though, Jonah Gilbert was a little intense and maybe trying to tell him to tone it down just a little bit.
Yep, there you go.
He was pretty pumped up after that right-sided outside hit.
Yeah. Looks like he's going to line up there on the right side for this point as well as Deal plays it in. Love the play there from Jerome to go opposite.
Yep.
Gilbert just has to send it through. This almost feels like one the Celtics got to get it on.
Yeah, would agree.
But Tam there, Jin Tam that time there.
I'd love to see his dig numbers. Jin Tam has been just as valuable as what Jonah Gilbert has done at the net.
Yep.
Jin Tam at the back line digging out And any of the great attacks that Jerome has had at the net, it seems more times than not, Jin Tam has been there.
You could make the argument he's been the best player on the floor here tonight. Gilbert has been great, but Tam has been consistently been there all time. How about Tam trying to get in there?
He was in the net.
But winds up being a 4-hitter and over to the Celtics.
I think Tam got into the net that time.
Yeah.
I think he's trying to say no, he didn't, but it looked like there was contact with the players.
I love the fact
anyway.
he's 5'7" and he's going up at the net.
Well, he and Tak and Jin, we're assuming they're brothers.
Yes. Awkward play, but through.
Keep it alive, whatever.
And Gilbert going to go different this time, and the Celtics ready for it.
Nice set.
Tam again with the dig. Gilbert will safely send it through. One of the few extended rallies we've had in the match. They try to go quick into the middle, and this time Gilbert winds up making contact with the net.
He flirts dangerously close. He gets so high and has so much momentum coming towards the net. The control he has near the net, it's pretty amazing. He hasn't been in it more.
Helmreich, awkward play through. Well, just a busted play altogether. And eventually things settle down. Here is Gilbert. Blocked. Moyne kept it up with a fist. There's Tam. And Tam sends it over. And that's a double contact. Unfortunate for Leffler. As we've had now 2 really good rallies. But Bradley maintains the advantage now. It's an 11-5 lead here in the third.
I think Alex Leffler kind of got his feet tangled just a little bit, was a little bit out of control and got that double.
Gilbert now moves to the back line and will serve in. Across the way, Nutting. Wow. Nothing Deal could do right there.
Yeah, that's one that just blows you up a little bit. And you can tell Tyler Nutting's, he doesn't want this in. He's a senior, and this would be it for him if he can't extend this one out. So doing everything he can.
Von Borgenine with the serve. Good pass. One Tam to another. And now, how about a little change up there? Arel Aliev in the middle. He's really only been a service specialist thus far in the match.
Well, and the communication Tam had with him as well, because that was a kind of a back set. His momentum was taking him away from the net to get it back up in front of himself in the middle.
Here he goes back to serve. Near side, that is in. Well done. Now we see Nutting move to the right side of the front line. Both teams changing it up with their star players.
Well, Nutting will go back to serve now, but yeah, he was up there at that front, but that was a nifty little play.
Jerome trails 12-7 and another service error.
Well, that's the guy you don't, Tyler Nutting. He's going to want that one back. That's one he's going to be seeing in his sleep. I agree with you. You're talking about Jin Tam maybe being the best all-around player on the court thus far. He's been a lot of fun to watch. And only honorable mention.
Both Tak and Jin Tam only honorable mention, but I think Gilbert is obviously great to start the match, and it's kind of come and gone really ever since then. Tam's just been so consistent, especially with the digs. Gilbert with the dig there, but unfortunately it eventually led it into the line, and back over to the Celtics.
Well, they got Jin Tam listed as an outside hitter, but he's more back there on that back line, digging things out. But you don't. He's not afraid. Oh, not again. He's not afraid to get up to the net.
No. Yeah, Jin Tam has been more of kind of a defensive specialist here tonight, as opposed to the front line.
And he's their center as well.
Yes.
So.
Nutting from that back line, changing pace a little bit. Went to the high flat, and Moyd played it back, and now Gilbert with the bump over. Utrip, he's been quiet for a while. Good to see him get going again.
Well, he had a pretty solid first set, and if they can get him involved and you move the ball around, that'll help free up Nutting when he gets back up to that front row. But you got to have that double attack when Nutting's in the back. You got to have Utrip on the front.
Feels like right now is the time Jerome needs to go on a run. Won't matter, though, with that guy.
That may have been the best one he's had since the first set. That was authority.
And that's the thing now. You look at the way the score is right now, 16-9 in favor of Bradley. Jerome can't afford to keep trading points. You're running out of time.
Well, not only this set, but the match.
Yes. Nutting, a little mistime on the jump, and just barely hit the floor before Jin Tam could get it.
He sold it, though.
He did.
Give him credit.
Yeah, he did.
Serving for Jerome.
Utrip now will try and pull his team back within 5 as the two teams continue to trade points here in the third set. Taktam, where Saloka sends it through. Utrip from the back line. Moyne with a nice dig. Smart of Tam to play that back to Saloka, and he'll get it in on the far sideline. That is such a great play from Taktam in the middle to play that back and lay it up for Saloka.
For Elijah Saloka, he's kind of that decoy on the other side, but when he gets the opportunity, he took advantage of it. That was nice. Right down the line, he painted it.
Deal with the serve, and his team leading by 7. Nutting with the left hand off the awkward pass. Utrip again, there you go. Again, finding Moyne, and that has been the Celtics' most successful run on offense, attacking Moyne on the back line. They just have not been able to do it consistently enough here in the second and now the third set.
Well, you got to make the run here now on the serve. You can't give the ball back.
My gosh. Could you lay it up there better if you're Taktam?
How do you to get that set from the back row like that into the perfect spot, timing it out, and give Jonah Gilbert credit too. He just times that out. He knows how to time it out. That was authority.
18-11 as Nutting trying to return the favor, and he does. I think Leliev might have gotten a piece of that at the net, but nevertheless.
I think it did. I think it just enough of a redirect that not a lot Jonah Gilbert can do.
Right now, if you're Celtics, you take what you can get.
Well, but you can't give it away here.
No. Von Borgendien with the serve. Taktam. Oh, clever. That is one of my favorite plays in volleyball, to see that setter just play it over and catch the other side completely napping.
And there's times where you can do that 4 or 5 times a set if you play it out right. And he found that open middle. Smart play by Taktam.
Arel Aliev back on serve as Bradley continues to keep Jerome at arm's distance. Utrip from the back. Kept up by Leliev. Taktam's going to keep it in play, though. Right to Gilbert. That is incredible from Taktam. Again, going out towards the sideline over there to play a ball that Gilbert can get that much pace on it. Incredible.
Well, and for Jonah Gilbert, to have the confidence to be able to sit a shot like that.
Yeah. Gilbert holding up 5 hands to tell his front line 5 more points. Make it 4 more points. As Utrip with an awkward play, and the front line froze, and Jerome going to use their timeout here as Bradley is on the verge of moving on to the state quarterfinals here, leading 21-12 in the third.
Jason, you and I are going to be traveling a little bit this weekend.
Yeah.
We'll be in Dayton tomorrow at Centerville High School. I'm going to be there for all 3 of the East region. You'll be with me for a short time, and then you and Zach Waddell, our producer, will be headed down to Princeton High School for the South region. Yep. And meantime, Richard Skinner is going to be in the North with our executive producer, Rob Ebel, all part of OHSBVABroadcast.com. Check out the website. Spread the word. $5.99 a match. $7.99 when we get to the championship next Sunday. Yes. Championship Sunday, a week from this coming Sunday. But we've got a lot in between there and expecting a lot of great matches. Our next match coming up here tonight, this is the first of 3 here in Dayton. Match number 2 will feature the number 1 seed of the East region and the number 1 team ranked in the East. Olentangy Liberty will be taking on another bit of a surprise in the 6th seed, Thomas Worthington. So that coming up not before 6:30. But excited to have that one coming up next.
Back out of the timeout. Jerome has no choice here. A run has to start right now.
You got to stop this serve. Deal's had a couple in.
Leliev showing the and one moves before he steps up.
Just a little punch serve.
Yep. Just kind of a different thing to throw at the opponent. I think we've got net violation. I think it was called against Taktam.
Yeah, attacking that far side. I don't even think he was going up to try to block that. I think he just kind of wandered into the net a little bit. Maybe that's the opening Jerome needs.
Nutting gets this one over. Gilbert safely up. Taktam back to Gilbert from the back line. What a great dig by Nutting. Gets pace on this one. And now the Celtics will get another crack at it. Utrup.
Got it. Yeah.
The net helped that time. That was headed long. But again, when you're down back against the wall, take what you can get.
Well, I think it may have had the pace to go long, but the angle that he had was a pretty nice angle, and you could just see him looking straight down the net.
Nutting. That ball just barely cleared the tape. Nice play from Eckleberry. Very, very playable ball. Nutting. Another playable ball by Moyne. And now Celtic can really set it up. Another missed time there from Leffler. No missed time from that guy. They give the credit to J.J. Moyne for the point there, and I don't blame the rest of the guys on the floor there. He kept that one alive.
Well, Leffler tried to give his team a chance there, but...
And now Jerome's going to use its second and final timeout as Bradley is 3 points away from moving on and winning a regional title.
Well, we talked in the kind of the pre-match conversation that Jerome has been in these regional finals 4 straight years. Unfortunately for Jerome, they've also lost the last 3, not counting nothing last year. But so the Jerome players have kind of cycled through, been to this point. But again, like we talked about earlier, some of those kids that were here before were young. They were just sophomores last time that they would have been here. The seniors would have been sophomores, and the juniors were just freshmen. So how much playing time they may have had.
When you look at the Jerome roster, too, just 5 seniors on this roster. Now, there's some important pieces on there with Utrup and Nutting and Kripe and the like, but nevertheless, Jerome is going to set no matter when their season ends, whether it's here or next week in the state tournament, if they're able to rally here, they're going to have a lot coming back next year. They're going to have something to say about a regional final again a year from now.
Well, in the community at Dublin, they've got so many students that go to those schools, so you've got so many great athletes.
Yeah.
With the opportunity to play volleyball.
Taktam with the left hand over. Nutting again from that back line. And Gilbert hitting that one and looking to the sideline saying, my bad, I should have let that one go. But it's hard to get out of the way of those.
Well, and I'll also say I think he's afforded a few.
Yes.
With the game he's had, the match he's had.
Eckleberry back on serve. Jerome trails 22-15. Here's Saloka blocked and down. Beautifully done by Ben Kripe.
Jerome saying, not so fast there. We're not quite done just yet. Give him credit, too. I mean, you like to see the fight when your back is completely against the wall.
I would venture a guess here now that I was going to say, if possible, they were going to work the way of Gilbert. Instead, Moyne can't handle the serve. It'll be an ace for the sophomore Eckleberry, and Jerome chipping away the deficit down to 5.
Well, Zach Franklin might give him one more point before he just calms his guys down.
See if they go to Gilbert here offensively. He covers so much ground jumping from behind that back line. He's essentially playing middle blocker at that point. He gets so far up.
He's so far up, and the ball is hitting the tape but coming down.
Yes.
It's not straight.
Ooh. Nutting. Popped up by Moyne. Gilbert trying to guide it over. Won't be done. Utrup has to just bump it over. Now a golden opportunity for Bradley. Here's their guy. Beautiful dig by Nutting. Utrup wide. And now Bradley has 6 match points. Bradley trying to move on. And that ball is wide, and that is it. Bradley took a while to get going after the first set nail biter, but once they started the second set, it was pure dominance from the Jags as they are through to the state quarterfinals.
Well, they showed why they're the number 2 seed. Again, they were 17-2 coming in. They now make it 18-2. Their only match losses this year was a 5-setter earlier to Westerville North back in mid-April, and then they had another loss to Olentangy Orange in 3 straight sets. So that may have been kind of a wake-up call type of a scenario going back to that May 6th match against Olentangy Orange. But started a little bit slow here, and I think you got to give a lot of credit to the Jerome Celtics for kind of hanging around in there in that first set.
Bradley has won itself a regional championship. You can't leave the gymnasium without grabbing the trophy. And they'll go and take that here in just a moment here.
It's hardware time.
Yes, it is. Jonah Gilbert will do the honors. A regional title here for Bradley. Of course, they want more than that, and they are off to the state quarterfinals. They are scheduled to take on the winner of Jackson and Stowe Monroe Falls in a state quarterfinal. That coming up on Saturday, June the 5th. That's slated for a 1:30 p.m. opening serve.
That's a week from tomorrow.
Yes, it will. Yes, it will be. For Jerome, just not your day-to-day, and ran into a very, very good team with one of the best players in the state of Ohio.
Without a doubt. But congratulations on the season for Dublin Jerome to get to this point. And again, waving through and weaving through everything that they had to get to this point. A great season. Unfortunately, comes to an end against a very, very good Hilliard Bradley Jaguars team, now 18-2.
Bradley wins the regional title over Dublin Jerome, 25-23, 25-14, and 25-17 in the third. That's going to wrap up our coverage here of this regional final. Still more action to come here at Westerville Central High School, so stay tuned to OHSBBABroadcast.com for more continuing coverage of the tournament. For our producer, Zach Waddell, and my partner, Greg Waddell, my name is Jason Griefer. Thank you so much for joining us. Bradley shows why they were a high seed. They beat Jerome 3-0 and win a regional title on OHSBBABroadcast.com.